In Russia, Victor lives a happy and peaceful life with his wife and child. They enjoy every day together until tragedy strikes. Sometime later, Anton and Marina are getting ready for their wedding, which is paid for by Marina's father. They'll record their wedding and the honeymoon to make a short film they'll show at the yacht club. At the registry building, they take the elevator, which gets stuck without light for 1 second before moving on. Marina has a fear of getting stuck in elevators, but Anton assures her it's fine and distracts her by recording her chest. When the couple finally reaches the office, the officiant doesn't want to marry them because they're very late. Marina tells her about their deep love and asks her to understand as a fellow woman, so the officiant changes her mind. The room is quickly decorated and the couple exchanges words full of love, kissing passionately while the officiant cries. After they put on the rings and sign everything, they run on the street for more footage and take a cab. Before going to the airport, they stop at Marina's father's office, where they get an envelope with plenty of money. Ready for their honeymoon, the couple gets on the elevator and starts kissing again, but they stop when Victor joins them. After a few seconds of going down, the elevator suddenly freezes. Anton presses a bunch of buttons yet nothing happens. When Victor tries the same thing, nothing happens either. Marina starts panicking and reminds Anton of her phobia, so both Anton and Victor assure her they'll be fine. Victor finds the alarm button and presses it several times while yelling, but nobody answers. Then Marina pulls out her phone, however there's no signal. Her panic gets worse as she asks the men to check their phones. Sadly, they don't have service either. Victor points at the camera and says they can only wait until they're rescued. Over an hour later, Anton decides to film again, which annoys Marina. He explains that a man on YouTube was stuck in an elevator for 40 hours and recorded everything to sue the company later, which got him tons of money. Victor likes the sound of this and takes Anton's phone to film the couple together. Anton gives a speech about the company's negligence, and Victor records himself too as he mentions the exact laws that were broken. Afterward, they chat about their lives and Marina remembers the day Anton tried the freefall ride at Disneyland, joking that he almost gave birth out of fear. Anton assures her that it can't happen here as he rubs her belly. Victor explains the elevator can't freefall because there's a system of brakes for emergencies like this. Since he worked in construction all his life, he knows about elevators. He says that if an elevator falls, then the people inside must lie down on the floor to survive. The conversation triggers Marina's phobia, so she rushes to the door and starts pulling. The men help her and after some effort they manage to open the door, only to find a wall and a light draft. The ceiling only has light and ventilation, not useful at all. Marina says they're stuck in a metal coffin and returns to the window to try to calm down. When she sees people in another building, she starts screaming, pounding on the window, and waving her headpiece to no avail. Then she starts crying and having a panic attack, so Anton comforts her until she calms down. Suddenly the elevator door closes and Marina screams. Anton yells and pounds on the door, but it's pointless. Victor points out that the occupancy in this expensive tower is low, so probably nobody noticed what's happening. Marina realizes that today is Friday and employees have left, which means they'll be stuck here the whole weekend. She cries desperately and Anton has to hug her. As night falls, it starts raining. Victor decides to play old music on his phone and even sings along, saying the classics are better than modern songs. He also tells the couple about his wedding, which they celebrated with some relatives at a restaurant. His wife had been pregnant at the time and didn't drink alcohol, so Victor didn't drink either to support her. In return, Anton explains he's a musician who plays covers in bars with his band. 6 months ago they started to work on an album, but there hasn't been much progress. Victor teases his lack of proper employment, however Marina swears she believes in Anton. An amused Victor thinks it's easy for her to say that because she has money. He points out that their relationship may end up in resentment and warns them not to have babies. Getting annoyed, Anton grabs Victor's hand and brings him down as he asks about his wife. Victor says that his wife isn't around anymore and that she was the most beautiful woman in the world. He also points out that when a man is married to a beautiful woman, they have to get naughty with their hand all day long, implying Anton is the same as him. Anton gets angry and pushes him, so Marina has to hold him back to stop him from starting a fight. Victor keeps mocking them and Marina begs him to stop, causing him to snap out of it and apologize for his behavior. He explains that his wife self-deleted and has a breakdown as he wonders why he should keep living. When Marina reminds him of his son, Victor changes the subject and wonders if they'll visit him after they're rescued. Suddenly Victor's mood changes again and talks about seeking revenge against people who hurt him, describing dreams full of violence. When Anton asks for clarification, Victor pulls out a picture of his child and explains that he died 2 years ago in a car accident. While Anton comforts Victor through another breakdown, Marina desperately tries the buttons again. Victor thinks she's being disrespectful toward his grief, so Marina expresses sympathy, but her priority is to escape. Then Victor's expression gets creepy as he tells her not to bother. It turns out he caused the elevator to get stuck. Since it's a smart model, it can be controlled with an app that a hacker friend provided. Victor pulls out his phone and presses a button that finally makes the elevator move again. Afterward he records the couple while explaining he knows everything about Anton, even his taste in dirty movies. Marina gives him the money envelope to try to convince him to let them go, but Victor says that not everything in life can be bought. After stopping the elevator, Victor pulls out a knife and says he wants Anton to suffer. He tries to reach Marina to hurt her, but Anton gets in the way, so Victor captures him instead and threatens him with the knife as he explains that Anton killed his son. When Anton says he never hurt anybody, Victor pushes him against the wall and calls him a liar. The couple begs for mercy and promises they'll help Victor find the real killer because it wasn't them. After some hesitation, Victor lets Anton go and explains he has no connections or money, so he couldn't convince the police to open an investigation. Anton and Marina swear again they'll help him, so Victor makes the elevator move. However, after just a few seconds he stops it once more and jumps on Marina. Anton immediately comes to her defense, but Victor easily beats him up. When Marina tries to help her husband, Victor throws her at the glass wall, causing her to collapse. Then he punches Anton's nose and throws him down to kick him on the floor. With a foot on Anton's head, Victor points out that 2 years ago at 1 in the morning, Anton and Marina were often in the same bar. He asks Anton for his car's license plate, but Anton says he doesn't remember. Furious, Victor slashes the skin under his ear. Marina rushes to push Victor, who slaps her before repeatedly slamming her head on the wall. After dropping Marina on the floor, Victor explains that one night he went out and his son secretly followed him, only to be run over by a car. Victor saw the vehicle and yelled at it, but it drove away without a care. He found his son alive with several broken bones, so he tried to take him to the hospital, but he couldn't make it in time and his son died in his arms. Anton and Marina express their sympathies but swear that they didn't kill the boy. They point out that there are many cars like theirs in the city, yet Victor is convinced that he saw Marina in the front seat. He forces her to stand up and grabs her by the hair to take a closer look at her. A flashback reveals the car stopped after the accident and a person came out to look around before escaping. When Marina says that Victor's wife was probably afraid of the man he's become, Victor pushes her against the glass wall and punches Anton when he tries to intervene. Then he mentions the license plate of the car that killed his son, revealing it was registered in the name of Marina's father's former mistress. He also mentions a broken headlight. Victor has been looking for the couple for a long time and could only find them now that they returned to this city to get married. A furious Victor proceeds to slash Marina's wrist, so Anton yells that he was the one who killed the boy. Victor is distracted, so Marina takes the chance to kick him and bite him. After Victor knocks her down, he fights Anton, who also goes down fast with just a few hits. Victor kicks Marina when she tries to help, then he grabs Anton by the neck and starts choking him. When Anton is about to die, Marina stabs Victor's head with the heel of her shoe. Victor groans for a second before dropping dead, and Marina screams as she realizes what she just did. Anton comforts her until she calms down. While they use her dress to bandage her wrist, they hear a strange noise and notice that Victor's phone is beeping. Anton grabs it and discovers everything was recorded, so Marina wants to delete it. When Anton points out it's the only proof they have of self-defense, they fight for the phone and it ends up falling in Victor's blood. The screen is shattered so they can't use it anymore. After throwing the phone in fury, Anton asks Marina to tell him the truth. He had been drunk at the club and now doesn't remember anything. He lied to Victor just to save her. Anton did see a broken headlight, and Marina swears she accidentally broke it while parking. They argue for a while until Marina snaps, calling him out for not trusting his wife. They reconcile with a kiss and agree they had nothing to do with the child's death. Afterward, Anton films the body and their injuries with his own phone, explaining what happened. At that moment, Anton remembers that Victor mentioned a hacker and realizes he must have helped to pull this off. When he talks to the security camera, they hear someone running on the roof. Suddenly, gas starts filling the elevator, which hurts Anton's hand when he tries to touch it. Then he starts hitting the glass wall with Marina's shoe, but nothing happens. The couple decides to open the door again, only to find another wall. At least there's a draft that can take away some of the gas. Next, they search Marina's bag and find some socks and underwear. She gets on her hands and knees so Anton can climb on her, but when he reaches the vent, the gas hurts him again. He comes down to cover his hand with a sock before trying again, and this time he manages to cover the vent with the clothes. Unfortunately, it isn't enough, so he grabs Victor's socks and Marina gives him her panties. These items allow him to cover the vent for good, stopping the gas just in time. In the morning, they hear a noise on the intercom, so they rush to beg for help. Marina notices a song playing and brings her ear closer, only to be startled by a screech. Meanwhile, Victor's friend continues to watch them on the security camera. For the next few hours, the same song plays several times. Anton talks to Marina in whispers and convinces her that confessing they killed the kid is their only way to escape, even if it isn't true. Marina says she isn't a good liar, so Anton talks to the camera and announces he killed Victor's son, apologizing for his mistake. Suddenly, the elevator door closes and starts going up again. The couple looks at the sun and celebrates, thinking it's finally over. However, the elevator then starts falling at a horrifying speed. Marina screams before Anton remembers the advice Victor gave them earlier, so they lie down on the floor. After several minutes of falling, the elevator finally stops and the couple survives, although Marina loses a tooth and freaks out. Anton calms her down before trying to open the door, but it won't even budge. When he screams at the security camera, the hacker leaves his chair to prepare some tools. Then Anton grabs some gum and a credit card from Marina's bag. He chews the gum and uses it to stick the card to the camera so they can't be watched anymore. With Victor's knife, he breaks open the button panel and starts messing with the cables, which turns on the lights. Meanwhile, Marina feels too sick and pukes in a corner. Anton can't find anything else to do with the panel, so he plays music on his phone and asks Marina to dance. While they hold each other, the card slips a little and the hacker sees the lights. As he grabs his tools and leaves the room, it's revealed that the usual guard has been knocked out and tied up. Marina apologizes to Anton because she sometimes gets irritated about his job and promises to support him forever. Since they don't know if they'll survive this, they decide to get naughty in the elevator to represent their wedding night. The sweet moment is interrupted when the door opens and a hose hits them with a strong stream of water. Marina takes the chance to drink, but ends up coughing and spitting it. As the elevator starts to flood, the hacker returns to the control room to watch the couple suffer. Anton and Marina work together to pull the door open, then Anton lifts Marina so she can try to push the hose. Unfortunately, the stream pushes back and the couple falls into the water. Anton decides to try with the panel again, but the water triggers a short circuit and the couple has to step away to avoid getting electrocuted. At least this triggers the fire alarm, which should directly contact the authorities. Anton and Marina start pounding on the glass wall, hoping someone outside will see them. As the water continues to rise, they stay submerged as long as possible. However, nobody outside reacts, so they have no choice but to resurface. The remaining breathable area is tiny, meaning they don't have much time left. A desperate Anton decides to dive in only to be startled by Victor's body, so he has to resurface to get back the air he just gasped out. When he dives again, he manages to find the knife and uses it to start hitting the glass wall. While Marina struggles to breathe because the water is starting to cover her face, Anton keeps working hard and manages to break the glass. Soon the water is draining away through the hole and the couple can breathe normally. In the control room, the hacker throws a tantrum. Once all the water is completely gone, Marina yells at the camera and says she killed the kid. The hacker only reacts by breaking his screen in fury. Anton tells Marina not to bother, so she starts remembering that tragic night. Both of them had drunk a lot, and eventually Anton passed out. Marina didn't want her father to see her like that, so instead of calling him for help she decided to drive. Victor had been right, it was she who killed his son. Marina came out of the car and thought about doing something, but she heard Victor scream so she drove away in panic. At home, she washed the blood off the bumper and had a breakdown in the bathroom. The story makes Anton furious since Marina has been lying all along and has gotten them into this mess. Marina apologizes and swears she was trying to protect him, admitting she's a spoiled child. Anton lets her hug him, willing to work on their relationship. When Marina even agrees to go to the police, they share a kiss. At that moment, a new guard arrives to take over the shift. The hacker immediately jumps on him and quickly knocks him out. Afterward, the couple hears a noise in the panel and the elevator moves again to drop them off in the lobby. Anton grabs the knife and comes out first to investigate, only for the hacker to surprise him from behind and bring him down. Then the hacker corners Marina in the elevator and hits her in the head to knock her out. Moments later, Marina wakes up to find herself tied up in the lobby. The hacker slaps her and she screams, so he asks her to stay quiet as he threatens her with a knife. Marina keeps crying and asking for mercy, so the hacker slashes her cheek. When this mysterious person takes off the mask, it turns out to be Victor's wife, who says she'll never get her son back and runs away. Seconds later, Anton is awakened by the sound of police sirens. He unchains Marina and they cling to each other as the cops surround them. Afterward, Anton chooses to take the blame for the death of Victor's child. He's sentenced to 7 years in prison but receives parole after 5. When he finally comes out, Marina is waiting for him with her child, which explains why he took the fall. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can watch more videos like this. Thanks for watching.